All right, let's go ahead and welcome in our CBS Sports HQ NFL analyst, Ryan Wilson. And Ryan, Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, he wanted his QB to make a statement. Jameis, well, he went out there and did just that. 9 of 10 passing, $123, 2 great drives, and with 2 beautifully thrown touchdown passes to Marquez Callaway. Just how loud was Jameis Winston's statement Monday night, and did he finally earn the starting job, Ryan?
To follow, to borrow a phrase from Joe Musso, I feel like that Jameis's press conference should be this: good night and good morrow, and then he just moonwalks into the sunset, because he earned that job every single time he dropped back. He was slinging it on the Monday night game, and it looked like he was in mid-season form at Florida State. We didn't see any of the mistakes. He was laser focused. He was laser accurate. The 2 touchdown passes were on the money. Great plays, of course, by Marquez Callaway on both of those touchdown plays. But we heard the stat: they haven't thrown the ball that deep in the air since 2016. And that's something that's been missing from that offense. We know how good and how calculating and how meticulous Drew Brees ran that offense, but it was going to be on the short and intermediate routes. Jameis Winston gives them another dimension, something that is certainly more than what they can get out of Taysom Hill, who's a utility player, and I mean that in the best possible sense. Jameis is a traditional quarterback, can do the things you want him to do in terms of pushing the ball down the field. First-round pedigree, we've seen glimpses of that at Tennessee, and now it's going to be Sean Payton's job to get the most out of Jameis, who it certainly seems like has won the job. If he hasn't won the job based on that performance, I don't know what else he has to do, Larry.
Say what you want about famous Jameis. 70 career starts, also just one of 8 or 9 guys that's thrown for 5,000 yards in the National Football League. So here's a guy that's definitely had some production before in the NFL. Jags' #1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, launched just 2 games, Ryan, at Clemson in his career. He has that many in his first 2 preseason games. Not all his fault, but the rookie had his struggles. 14 of 23, $113, took another sack and another 4 or 5 hits there. 3 and outs in his first 4 drives, Ryan. What did you make of his night?
I feel sort of like Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting talking to Matt Damon's character. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Trevor. I mean, he has no one around him. They were missing 2 starting offensive linemen, and we saw the beating that he took. And it didn't get better when they brought in Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew was running for his life. He threw that interception in the end zone. That was because the left tackle just wasn't playing. He was getting beaten each and every snap, and it wasn't like the Trevor Lawrence had much in the way of protection either. That's a concern. We're 2 weeks into this thing, into preseason, 1 more week to go before the regular season begins. They're not going to be able to magically fix the offensive line. The 2 starters will return. But again, this is a team that won 1 football game last year. This isn't Clemson. The wide receivers aren't running wide open against ACC competition. And that's another thing. The wide receivers are struggling to get separation. Marvin Jones is a great player. Laviska Shenault has a chance to be a really good player. DJ Shark didn't play. But there was no separation on most of those routes. And that's something that Trevor Lawrence isn't accustomed to, and something he's going to have to get used to in the NFL. Through 2 weeks, he's probably, and this sounds nuts to say, he's probably been the worst of the first-round quarterbacks in terms of on-field performance. Again, not entirely his fault, but that's where we are right now. That's the reality.
Ryan, he was hit early and he was hit late as well. Matter of fact, a sack ended his night. So we'll see if Trevor can get things on track next week in that 3rd and final preseason game, the dress rehearsal against the Cowboys. Ryan, give us your winners and losers of this Jags-Saints preseason matchup. Who'd you have Monday night?
Yeah, this is pretty easy. I think it starts with Jameis Winston and the way that offense looked with him running the show. I think Marquez Callaway's emergence is also important. Michael Thomas didn't play, might not play the first few weeks. Tre'Quan Smith was banged up, didn't play tonight. He'll be coming back. So the wide receivers are coming together. It starts with the quarterback. I would imagine that Sean Payton feels comfortable in naming Jameis as starter in the coming days. And it also allows Taysom Hill to return to that utility role where he can do a little of everything, not only on offense but also on special teams. And I think that makes the Saints a much better team, and they seem to be, just on the outside looking in much better shape now than they were, say, 24 hours ago, now that it feels like there's some certainty in the quarterback position.
Yeah, it looks like Sean Payton might keep 4 QBs as well with Ian Book. I know they really love him a lot.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.